would appear that your plan to learn the Gargoyles' hiding place has gone awry, sir.
Not really. I have the Eye of Odin back in my private collection, and the city owes me a favor for donating it. I successfully tested this prototype battle exoframe, and the most important thing...
Yes, sir?
I was a little worried that I might be getting soft, but I was able to stand up against Goliath, the greatest warrior alive. I'd say I've still got the edge.
Hey guys, so we're here back again with another edition of Throwback Thursdays, and I believe we're on number 26 now. And as I said before, we are done with Small Soldiers for now. Maybe in December of this year we will return to that. Time will tell. I do need to pick up a couple of accessories if that's going to happen though, so I need to get my butt on that before y'all want to charge $1,000 for a freaking plastic missile. Just saying, the prices are getting a little bit unrealistic at this point. But for the first Throwback Thursday of the new year, we are returning to the Kenner Gargoyles line with the most evil son of a bitch in 90s cartoon history, Mr. David Xanatos. This is the red version of Xanatos. I do also have the first release, which is kind of ironic that this is first release, but I'm guessing it's one of those, they got some concept art. This was the concept art, so they made it this way, but then they went and made it the other way after they'd seen the show, and you know how it goes. The MCU, Marvel Legends do it all the time. But here is the silver version, which is the one I've had since, I want to say high school or college, but I've had this one for a hot minute. Still love that figure, and it's actually accurate to... The Gathering Part 2, which is a later episode in Season 2 where Xanatos wears iron armor to fight the dark elf god of the Fey folk, what's his name? Oberon, who's trying to kidnap his son and train him to be a wizard. So, yeah, Season 2 of Gargoyles, everybody. It's trippy as all hell, but this guy right here was a Christmas present from my dad, aka Mr. Brian, so shout out to him for that, because this gosh darn thing is super rare. I don't know why this version is so rare and hard to find, probably because it's a more accurate one, but even then you can't even find one with like one of these armor pieces. There's just none on eBay, so very, very weird. I don't remember it being that way all the time. It's just been kind of a past couple of years thing, kind of like the Xanatos that comes with the red car there. It's a relatively hard piece to get a hold of as well, but this is the more show-accurate version of Xanatos as far as the action figures go. It's not accurate in the sense that it's got two jet thrusters and his helmet looks a little weird. Like, really weird. And there is a cheat to this. If you take this off, this piece, you can actually pop this mask off. Here, it's a little tricky to get it off, but it can be done. But you could pop the mask off, and you can slide it like that, and then attach it to the figure. This is only if you want the mask look. And now, you just lift it up a little bit. It is actually covering his face. You don't have that gap underneath his chin, but you do have this big open space on top of his head, so if he runs into a wall, he's dead. So, not the most effective thing ever. I would have rather they given him a helmet a la the animated series Ra's al Ghul. That figure on helmet, it was much more effective and looked a little better, albeit maybe slightly oversized because it's Kenner, but there we go. But I like the mask thing. It's cool, but it's just not ideal. I don't even know if I have it snapped in there all the way. I guess we'll find out. If it falls off, that is. But, yeah, the whole shtick with this guy is he's got this flip-down mask thing. It's like, ooh, it's a gargoyle. And then it's like, oh, no, it's Xanatos. What an asshole. And then you can actually take this armor off. Take it off there. And both these arm pieces come off. Both the leg pieces come off. Woo! Woo-hoo! Like so. And then the backpack slides off his back here. And the wings on this do come off. I'll leave them on just to save some time, but they do rotate. Nothing too crazy. Then you got a little Xanatos figure and a jumpsuit. Very, very weird kind of jumpsuit. I never thought this is what the gargoyle armor looked like underneath it. Lots of like ribbed Colossus texture on this guy. It's very weird. If you know Colossus from X-Men, you know he's got like the ribbed or kind of the lines carved into his arms and his legs and whatnot. That's exactly how this guy feels. So that's kind of weird. But articulation on him, his head will rotate side to side, his arms will move up and down, and then his legs will kick forward and back. And that's your lot. Not the most articulated thing ever. Has an open hand, doesn't have anything to put in it, but he does have his armor, so you can get him ready to be a complete asshole to Goliath and the rest of the Manhattan clan, if you so choose. And you're probably wondering, weren't you not going to do Gargoyles for a while on Throwback Thursdays? Well, I did. I did say that. That was a lie. No, that's partial truth. I did not plan on doing this. I didn't plan on getting this figure, actually, so I wanted to do it for that reason. That and NECA dropped a bombshell right on Christmas Eve that they are pretty much all wrapped up with Lexington, Broadway, and Brooklyn. So we'll be taking a look at them relatively soon on Ye Olde Throwback Thursdays. But I wanted to do a video of Xanatos, A, because he's kind of new, and I want to get him on the shelf. And B, I want him to show us Xanatos already. We've gotten lots of gargoyles in the NECA Gargoyles line, which I'm happy about. I love the monsters more than the humans 9 times out of 10. Those of you who are familiar with this channel know that for sure. Just look at my Mythic Legions top 10 video. I don't think there was a single human on that list. But I'd really like to see some of the human characters from Gargoyles in that NECA line. That, and they're supposed to come with the folded up cloak wings for a lot of the gargoyle characters. So that'll be nice to see at some point in near to distant future, I'm hoping, because I am all in on that line. But just to give you a look at the silver one again, here he is. It's literally just all silver, no paint. And the base figure underneath is exactly the same. Although I will show you this, the mask with the chest plate look that I came up with here. I will say this one's armor seems to be a little bit tighter on the figure than the red one. The red one is from Series 2, which also had Stone Camo Broadway and Lexington. There was no Brooklyn variant or Hudson or Bronx variant like that, but Xanatos, Broadway, and Lexington did receive variants and a case revision of some of the earlier figures, so that's interesting to note. But reattaching that, it's the same mold as the red one there. There is another red Xanatos, but it's from the Hardwired series that Coldstone comes from, and that's another figure I'd like to see NECA take a stab at. He's a really cool kind of cyborg gargoyle figure. That'd be really awesome to see with all the new engineering and whatnot. But the other Xanatos figure in this line is from that Hardwired series. He's cool, but he's not this version. This is the more show accurate version. I think this is the best Xanatos figure in the line. And yeah, with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up, here is good old David Xanatos next to his favorite people to screw with. We have Goliath, the Stone Armor Goliath. Shout out to T-Biz for that one as usual. And Demona, from the same line, of course. And Goliath, I actually took the liberty of removing his wings just so he didn't take up as much space in the review set as he usually does, which was kind of effective and kind of not, because his tail still kind of pushes him forward and makes him look taller than he really is, but not much I can do about that. But as you can see, Xanatos is shorter than both of these guys. I don't know if that's entirely accurate considering he is in the armor, but when he's not in the armor, I'd say that works pretty well. And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, the 11th spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. And side note, Xanatos, I think, is the first retro addition to the Men in Red and Black Club. So good on you, old Davey. But with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and like many a Kenner Gargoyles figure, while this is not a perfect representation of good old David Xanatos from the Gargoyles animated series, it is the best David Xanatos figure we have for this old Kenner line. It's the most show accurate, albeit with some minor inaccuracies, particularly in the head and the thrusters on the back, but I'll let that slide because I love this line, man. I can't complain about this line. I can't talk any crap about it other than the fact that they didn't give Brooklyn a freaking neck. That's still some weird shit, but other than that, I love this line. I love this figure. If you can find him for a good price, I would recommend you pick him up. And side note, my good buddy Jess Monesto 2 actually did a video review of this guy quite a few years ago now. And I actually hit him up about picking this figure up off him because I wasn't sure if he was really into this line anymore. I was going to make him an offer on it, but unfortunately he had went and sold his whole collection of these before I hit him up. So again, shout out to my dad for hooking me up with this guy for Christmas. It's an awesome present. I love this figure. It definitely fills out quite a large hole in my Gargoyles collection. I gotta tell you, I almost have most, if not all, of the figures from the first couple of waves. I think aside from some accessories and maybe one Goliath variant, I have most, if not everything. I don't have the Night Striker and the Castle playset, but I do have quite a chunk of the Gargoyles collection from Kenner, and I hope to one day complete it. I don't need that many more pieces at this point, and as far as accessories go, I guess I'll take what I can get because, much like the small soldiers, people want an arm and a leg for a piece of plastic that big. So that's just shitty. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's edition, or this week's edition, of Throwback Thursday. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing some Spawn stuff and some more Gargoyles. I'm not sure if we'll actually get to Brooklyn because he's very incomplete. He doesn't have his sword, and I can't get to the Rip and Rider cycle to make it a worthwhile video, but I don't know, maybe I'll bust one out anyways. We'll see. But Broadway and Lexington, definitely going to be doing those in the next few weeks. But next week, I think we're going to either do Medieval Spawn or Cygor from the old Spawn line, so stay tuned for that. And as always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and if you haven't already, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel, because we got to show that algorithm who's boss. And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.